Experience Sacramento's premier cinema celebration this holiday season.
Folks, we are very, very excited to be bringing to you the Sacramento International Film Festival 2025. This is our 30th year anniversary, and this winter edition is going to be our swan song, if you will, for this year, because we've been doing things all year long, and then we'll start up again next year. If you want to submit a movie for next year, those submission pages are open now. You just go to sacramentofilmfestival.com, click the link, and away you go. And we would love to see you. But for now, we have an amazing film festival that starts first and foremost with a wonderful, wonderful screenwriting program. We call it the American Screenwriting Conference. And here with me is the impresario of the thing, Mr. Richard Broadhurst. Hi, Richard. How are you, sir?
Good. How you doing, Marty?
I'm hanging in there, man. We were just talking off camera about technology and how much technology it takes to bring all this stuff together. It ain't easy, is it?
No, not for me, especially. I'm an old timer, Put me in front of a regular typewriter and I'm happy.
Well, let me ask you about that. Just because, you know what, the one question we always get, we get a couple of questions over and over again at the Screenwriting Conference. And by the way, folks, that's the American Screenwriting Conference. Hopefully we'll have that on the bottom of your screen here if you want to check it out. And please do. For you screenwriters, I'm going to tell you about a very special deal for you that gets you into the entire film festival and the Screenwriting Conference. Bear with. But, everybody always asks this question, what software should I use? And I guess it's usually it's a novice question, I suppose, but maybe it's a decent question. Does it matter what software you use?
Well, I think you want to find a software that the industry likes. Final Draft is always a safe bet. That's what I've used for years. I know there are others. I don't even know the names of them, but you just want to make sure that you have something that the industry likes. Because if you're sending a script, even if it's a PDF, they still want it in the format that they can read, that they use.
If you're asking me about format, I'm thinking about, okay, what is the format for a 3-act play that we consider to be a movie? And you know what? Not for nothing, our good buddy Mr. Mark Klebanoff, who had a movie, a wonderful movie in this last summer's program, is doing these little mini episodics, right? They're like 5 or 6 minutes long, and he's selling that to some streaming outlets. And that's kind of a big thing now, too. And I guess when I'm thinking of format, I'm not thinking of necessarily how the words lay out on the page per se, but I'm thinking of what is a feature. How would you define a movie script?
Well, this is where I always get in trouble. Because
you don't like to put too tight a definition on it. I'm guessing.
I don't, we've had this discussion before, and one of the things I would really recommend to everyone really this year, I'll try to have a copy of it somewhere. I would recommend going out and buying Stephen King's book on writing. Unbeknownst to me, Stephen King and I write very similarly, in the sense that he has a section in there about, should you have a plot? Should you plot things out? Or like in Save the Cat, how he wants you.
Yeah, like connect the dots, right?
And his response to that is absolutely not. If you've got a story to tell the story. And
well, wait a minute. Let me stop you. Let me ask you this. But so you don't want to have a plot already in mind? Is it because what are you going to do? You're going to draw out characters and you're going to draw out a scenario and you're just going to let it unfold?
That's exactly what I do. I don't, then I'm surprised sometimes the way it goes. For me, the most important, and I say this every year, but for me, the most important thing is I have to have an idea of what the story I want to tell, and then I have to figure out who the characters are who are going to tell the story.
In terms of what these screenwriters really need to know, because some of the things that we're talking about are very basic, right? How do you format a screenplay? How do you come up with the structure of it? But what do you think if you're a screenwriter, right? And you're coming to this and you're going to come to a like day-long seminar and a film festival that's attached to it. What do you think that these guys should be trying to get out of it? What's the juice?
Well, I think they need to be really. We did this last year, and I probably will try to repeat it this year. I think you have to be. You need to walk in the room and know in as concise a way as possible exactly what the story is you want to tell. Just put it out there, and I think last year the exercise was tell me in 3 sentences what your story is. Because when you walk in a room, if you walk in a room and you have to pitch your story to producers, they won't waste their time. They don't have the time to waste.
Yeah.
You walk in the room, you better be able to give them something right
Yeah.
away, and they
Right
can
away.
say yes or no. Or sometimes what they'll say is, okay, what else you got?
Sure. So if
That's it.
I hear you right, you want to come in with an idea of what it is that you're trying to say. But I got to say, folks at home, why are you coming to the conference? Are you coming to the conference because you just want to win an award? Well, I got news for you. Only a few people are going to win the awards. But if you're also thinking about how can I polish this gem and really make it shine,
and that's why I wanted to. That's why if people come in with those 3 or 4 sentences, I don't want to be rigid about it, but they come in with a short, just give me the
short
gist,
synopsis, yeah,
short synopsis,
mm-hmm.
and then we can hash it out after we get the Cliff Notes version of what it is what your story is going to be about.
Yeah, what was that one you had? I don't want to.
Well, the one I had that was the easiest one, the easiest sell, although they wouldn't let me write the screenplay, but they bought the idea. Was a true story of the one white ball player in the old Negro leagues. That's all I said.
That's all you said.
And that they bought it. They said, okay. But then they said, but we want our writers to write it. But, they paid me $50,000 and I said, okay.
That was probably the best payday you ever, the easiest work ever.
It was crazy, but that's exactly what happened. And it was 1 sentence. That was it.
Listen, a perfect capper, because I'm going to tell you folks at home, any more you got to pay for, right? And what I mean by that is you got to be at the conference. By the way, I had mentioned earlier that we got a very special deal for you, and we do. If you're a screenwriter, you're going to go to that Sacramento Film Festival, or better yet, just go to that californiafilm.net, and where you see the big American Screenwriters conference logo, click on that. When you go to that page there, you're going to be able to get a ticket at an incredible price, just $95. And that's going to get you not only the entire screenwriting day, but it's also going to get you the other 2 days with the parties and the film festival. And one thing I want to say about that, and Richard, in closing here, I just want to get your opinion on this. I feel very strongly that it is very, very beneficial for screenwriters to actually rub elbows with filmmakers.
Well, you got to have the people who are going to do the legwork. I mean, writers generally are not very good at putting the pieces together. So you got to have those contacts with the people who want to put the pieces together.
The more you understand from page to screen what the machinations that filmmakers have to go through in order to get what your vision is onto the screen.
And nowadays, everything, the thing that has changed probably the most dramatically in the last 10 or 15 years is that everything's a package, because that's where the money comes from. If you walk in a room and say, I've got a letter of intent from Meryl Streep that if the money's there, she'll do it. Well, the minute you mention Meryl Streep or, someone of that ilk.
A-list star.
Yeah, an A-list star. Or Martin Scorsese says he'd like to direct this. Then the producers are going to flock to you because now you've got a commodity that they can sell.
Marty Anaya here. I've been talking with Richard Broadhurst. Richard is the impresario for the program. So if you like what you're hearing now, just wait. We're going to have a full day of it. We're going to have some special guests. And like I said, it's going to be attached to a full film festival. It's at californiafilm.net. do it now because these are at a premium and we are going to run out. We intend for this to be more intimate, and the reason why is because you can have these kinds of conversations like we're having right now in a room where there ain't 1,000 people, like I was saying earlier, and that I think is the best way to learn. Richard, I want to thank you so much for spending your time with us tonight. Folks, SacramentoFilmFestival.com, CaliforniaFilm.net. We'll see you soon.